So yeah, if you're Chuck Schumer, I'm dangerous. Yeah. If you're AIPAC, I'm dangerous.
Democratic Socialists are on the rise. We've heard a lot about it, talked a lot about it here on the channel, and of course, one of the main reasons for that is the proto-fascist government that we have in the name of Donald Trump. But another main reason is because of the spineless cowards that we have as leadership in the Democratic Party. And there is no one quite as feckless and as lame as Chuck Schumer. And the Democratic Party as a whole, across the spectrum, is really starting to recognize that.
Look at this change among Democrats themselves. Chuck Schumer's net favorable rating with Dems now versus the last time Democrats were going for that Senate majority. In early 2020, look at this. Chuck Schumer was 40 points above water, very much on the positive side of the ledger with Democrats. Look at this. Look at this change. This is nuts. Johnny B off on the side going, my goodness gracious. Now he's a point underwater with Democrats. Chuck Schumer isn't unpopular overall. He is that. He's not just that. He's actually not popular with Democrats. Alyssa Slotkin, who's a moderate Democrat, her comments not coming out of left field.
Again, when you look at that, it's no wonder that we've been having a Democratic Socialist summer when party leadership is 39 points underwater. Chuck Schumer is one of the least liked politicians in the country, and it's not even close. Okay, let's take a look at this graph that just came out that shows the popularity amongst some politicians. Topping off the list, we got Obama, no surprise, but then we have Bernie and Zoran, two progressive champions, you know, one of the some of the most popular names in the progressive movement. You got Pete Buttigieg, John Ossoff, and AOC, and then way down at the bottom, way down at the bottom, one place below Mike Johnson and one spot above John Thune, we have Chuck Schumer. The guy is completely screwed, especially if AOC goes for that Senate run. But hey, this is a national poll. Maybe it's like one of those situations where he's much more popular in his own state. Nope.
You think that this number is bad. What about here in his home state of New York? I tell you, these numbers scream primary challenge 2 years from now. Look at this. Okay, New York Dems, who view Chuck Schumer favorably. Again, in early 2020, it was 75%, 3 in 4 Democrats. Now it is less than half. Less than half of Democrats in Chuck Schumer's home state of New York, 47% who view him favorably. This is part of a larger picture in which Democrats are turning against their leadership. They are specifically turning against Chuck Schumer.
It's so over for Chuck Schumer. He is a national embarrassment, right? And a complete joke amongst his own party and in his own state. Right, just take a look here. Here is Chuck Schumer at a New York Pride parade, and he is actively getting booed by the attendants. It's it's so good. Chuck Schumer is not the future of the Democratic Party, right? His project of a moderate opposition to the Republicans is just crumbling right before him, and he's watching it all unfold right now. And Senate candidate Abdul Al-Sayed kind of puts it in a beautiful way in the speech he gave a few days ago.
Okay. I'm not dangerous if you need government to work for you. But I'll tell you what, I sure am dangerous if you're one of those folks who's a corporation or a special interest or a politician who does their bidding, who's stopping government from working for you. So yeah, if you're Chuck Schumer, I'm dangerous. If you're AIPAC, I'm dangerous. If you're a corporate PAC, I'm dangerous. If you're Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO, I'm pretty damn dangerous. If you're PCE, I for sure am dangerous. But if you're somebody who needs government to work for you, I aim to be the best friend you ever had.
Exactly, right? Democratic Socialists are the friends of the people and enemies of the corporate class who for far too long have been taking and hoarding wealth while the vast majority of Americans are struggling to survive. And Abdul Al-Sayed is just calling that out and saying, yeah, I am dangerous if you are a corporate PAC because I am not your friend. Like, that's bars. That's like, what can I say? That's a good line. And candidates like Abdul Al-Sayed are actually the future of the Democratic Party, right? Robust, hardworking fighters who will actually fight for working class Americans. Another progressive fighter is Malat Kairos out in Denver. It is her primary today as I'm recording this and potentially as you're seeing this video. And Harry Enton actually talks a little bit about this in that same segment where candidates like Kairos are actually the future of the party.
The chance that Mila Kuros is the Dem nominee for Colorado won. Again, at the beginning of the month, it was 41%. Now it is a 78% chance that another Democratic Socialist knocks off an incumbent. Another Democratic Socialist wins a House primary on the Democratic side. The Democratic Socialist number is rising on the Democratic side on the House of Representatives, in large part because the Washington, D.C. Democratic brand is toxic. Not just with voters overall, but with the Democratic base in particular. It is a whole new world, and we'll likely see that tomorrow in Colorado as well. Of course, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, corporate Democrats and conservatives alike are genuinely so terrified of more progressives in power because we've seen what progressives can do. Zoran Mamdani changed the game. New York started this momentum, and the rest of the country is riding that wave. And yet somehow these corporate stooges and sponsored back career Democrats, they still don't fully understand that people are not on board with them anymore. Right? They're so shocked at this idea, right? Just take a look at this clip from Fox News where they're just talking to people and they're proudly saying that they're supporting the progressives in these races.
New York City had a bunch of primaries last week. We saw a bunch of socialist candidates win. Did you happen to vote in those primaries?
I did.
Do you feel comfortable sharing who you voted for?
I vote for Brad Lander.
I voted pretty much down the line for those socialist candidates.
Yeah, we're done. We are so fucking done with all the BS from these career politicians, right? We want people who will actually fight for our interests and stand up for what is right when the time comes. I find it so funny that corporate Democrats, they always talk about this big tent, right? Vote blue no matter who, all that bullshit, right? Whatever that may be. And then they call for progressives to fucking leave the party and not run because they're not Democrat and they hate Democrats and they hate America. No, they're the ones who are winning elections. The Democratic Party voters decide who leads them, right? That is the Democratic Party, the people, not Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and whoever else, right? It's the people. And the people voted for these progressive candidates. So if anyone is not a Democrat, it's the corporate shills who no longer align with the interests of the vast majority of the Democratic Party. Right? The vast majority of Democrats are, pro-stopping aid to Israel, right? They're pro-Palestine. They want to stop aid to Israel. They want money out of politics. They want Medicare for all. They want better public transportation. They want all these things. And there's so many corporate Democrats still just holding this line, towing this like centrist line when that is not the strategy, right? It's like James Carville, who also just called for the party to split after progressives whooped some centrist ass out in New York. But it's like, no, what? No, are you fucking crazy? These are the Democrats that are winning, right? It's always politicians talking about compromise until it's a leftist, right? It's like that meme where it's like, centrist politics is all about compromise. Me, okay, so compromise with the left. Centrist, oh God, no, I meant to compromise with racists. Because that is always what it's been. That's what we're dealing with. The liberal corporate leaders of the parties would rather compromise with the genocidal fascist government than with their left flank because the progressives are actually applying pressure to the corporate interests that keep these stooges in power. And that's a big no-no. That's a big no-no, right? This won't last long. The times are changing, right? We've seeing it over and over and over and over again. And these suckers either have to hop on board or wave as the train takes off from the station without them. That's where we're at now. So if you agree that you are just kind of done with all of these corporate centrist Democrats and looking forward to a more progressive future for the country, be sure you subscribe to US Democratic Socialists to join our fight here with us. And also be sure to like this video and comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this and more. So be sure to do all that good stuff and have a great day. I'm Iago Lashua. Goodbye.